So this is SaMindy here, making my first video. I was going to use my laptop there and do a picture for a friend from her DeviantArt account, but that's my school computer, and since I'm on summer break, I've completely forgotten what my password is. I know most of it, but I can't remember, so I have to wait till next week when I go back to school to be able to talk to my tech guy to get back into it. So as you can see, there's some little miniature pot and teacup there. So I decided to draw those from an old class I was in. I've already sketched it. I am using cold pressed watercolor paper, and I personally like cold pressed better than hot pressed. I'm personal opinion there. Hot press is fine for when you're doing large streaks of color, which I generally don't. I'm using Arteza, that's how you pronounce it, watercolor markers. I've already sketched this. I use Koh-i-Noor woodless pencils, personally what I prefer. So yeah, I'm gonna try and do this one-handed since I'm using my camera to hold one of my hands to hold the camera. I don't have a mount yet, so, or anything to hold my camera yet, so we'll see how this goes. So for now, I'm just gonna do the pot first. It's they're a blue. I'm gonna start with just a base blue and then add my layers from there to add the shadows. Oh, I'm gonna have to go back over that. That's part of the handle for the teacup. I erased some of my lines a bit because I love my woodless pencils. However, they make the lines a touch dark, and sometimes I just leave them and they kind of get swallowed up in the liquid from the markers. But I like these markers because they have a nice brush. It's not like the normal solid felt markers like I stuck using with the kids, Crayola markers at school. So those are nice. Fun thing with the Crayola markers though, is you can still do watercolor with them. One thing we do in my district is we save the markers. Some of us send them back to Crayola and they get recycled into new markers, which is fun. The kids like doing that once they figure out that that's what they're supposed to do and they don't just throw them away. But you can also, before you do that, you can, when your marker's like dry, you can stick it in a cup of water upside down. Obviously put the felt part in the water, and then you just leave it overnight or whatever for a few hours, and there actually, even though the marker won't color anymore, there is still some juice, we call it, the kids like to call it juice, in the marker. So it'll drain out into the water, obviously, and then you have some really nice paint to use for watercolor projects. And depending on like what marker you have, like if you have those neon markers, or even if they're just regular Crayola markers, sometimes they can give you a much like deeper, brighter red than just using those palettes that we give to those kids, the Crayola ones to the kids, because in order to get really a nice red with those, they like to really dig their brush into there, and then they kind of ruin the palette, which is a hassle. But yeah, so that's something we try and remember to do before we throw the markers into the recycle box, so that we can use up all of us that we have from them. The kids like doing that too. So, pretty much done with the body of the pot here. Just gonna do it's a little bit of, most of these is gonna be blues and golds. What if I choose to use for the gold, because they're blue and gold there. They look kind of brown in the camera, but they're gold. I don't get to use my blues too often. Doing animals and pets for people, I tend to use my browns and my grays more often. Sometimes my oranges, but it's nice to be able to use my blues. Can't even see what I'm doing, sorry. This isn't actually as awkward as I thought it would be, one-handed. Maybe next time or the time after that, next weekend, I'm gonna try and see if I can get into school early. Our building was under construction for renovations. We had a really old building from like the 40s. And got AC now. That's nice. They fixed our heating. So that'll be a blessing this year. But at the end of last summer, we couldn't get into the building early because they were still doing construction, but construction was supposed to finish this the end of this summer. And this time I got moved from a portable, those little trailer type classrooms outside the school, into an actual classroom. So art was going to actually be in the building this year, yay. Kids are excited about that, not having to in the winter come out to see me and trudge up my ramp and slip on it, deal with all the gravel on my ramp that they put down. But I had to box up all my art supplies. Well, I had the kids do a lot of the boxing. They really enjoyed doing that. So I'm hoping I can get into my room early and then start unboxing, putting away and organizing my brand new room. Not really excited about the whole unboxing thing, but I am excited to actually organize a new room, but I don't know if I'm allowed in my building yet. But if I am, then maybe I can talk to our school's tech guy sooner and get into my laptop sooner, and I can do that picture I wanted to for you guys next time. Otherwise, I don't know. I have an owl that not a real owl, but that I keep up on the same shelf that I keep these guys at. And he's made out of seashells. He's a kind of a family thing. Finally managed to get him off my mom. My turn to have him. There's the third one to have him. But he's kind of cool. He's got lots of different shades of browns and tans and whatnot. I think he'd be fun to do. So next week for the video, if I still haven't been able to get into the school, which you guys will obviously be able to tell if the video is another sculpture. If it's the owl, I'll save him. I've been thinking of doing it, but I'll save him in case I have to, I can't get into the building and talk to the tech guy to get into my school laptop. Then we'll save the owl for that. Got a bit of a cough. Figures it's healthy all the end of the school year, and then right before school starts, at the end of the summer, I'm got a cough or something. I don't know. Oh well. Nothing much that can be done about it. I keep forgetting to scoot the camera over with my hand. Just a lot of blue to start with. Don't want that to get lost with the handle of the cup. I'll come back and make that a bit darker in just a moment. It's the same thing over here. I don't want this to blend in with the side of the cup. I need to make it a shade darker. Go back and forth between the two until I'm happy. I might have to let them dry a bit. These markers do dry faster than regular watercolor, but I mean, they're not like the Crayola markers, so they do take a moment to dry. Sometimes if I blow on them, they'll dry pretty quick, but I don't want to do that right now. I got these guys I can do. Do the bottom plate first. Before I got my position I'm in now, I was a substitute teacher for a few years, and bit of eraser bit there. And I had to do a long-term subbing job for another art teacher in a high school while she was having her baby, and she was a ceramics teacher for a high school, which meant I got to have fun with potter's wheel and a kiln and make all kinds of cool things, you know, just examples for the kids. One of the classes was a advanced pottery class. They were really fun. They're actually really sweet. Threw me a surprise party on the last day I was there subbing with them. But that's where this little pottery set came from. It's from my time with that sub job. That was actually the last, I think. Was that my last long term? I think I had one more sub job before I got my full-time position at my current school. But almost done with the blue. Then we have to pick a color to use for our gold, which I don't have any. These don't come in metallic. Be kind of cool though if I could make it metallic, make it shine like the actual plates, but I'll have to pick something else. I like these markers because it's like using watercolor paint, but watercolor for the longest time drove me crazy because I just do not have the patience to wait for it to dry. I used to, when I was still a student myself, used to usually work on like 4 watercolor paintings at one time, because while a layer was drying on one painting, I'd move on to the other, because I just couldn't stand just sitting there watching it as it dried. I had no patience. But these dry fairly quickly. So over here now. Add some more. Eventually though, you do get to the point where you have to get another shade darker out. It only darkens so much before you just run out of options, but that's not bad. Okay, put the lid on this. See if I can do that with one hand. So what we've got so far. And now for the gold. That would be in this palette. Let's see. It's kind of a brownish, so we're actually gonna choose from over here. We're gonna choose this one. And then I think I'm gonna go with my usual orangey brown. I like to use this one. Let's see, it's orange rust. I like to use that for wood. Actually works really well for wood. And then I'm gonna have to pick some sort of pinkish red color for the inside of the cup right in there. You can see that pink from the cup. All right. Let's start with the pot here. I'm gonna try and keep my videos, you know, like 20-25 minutes. We're at the 16 and some change mark. So, but we don't have too much left to go. I think for the table and wall background, I'm just gonna use it. You usually do a still life, just pick a table color and pick a background color, some shadows in there. But I think I'll do that on my own. And then when I post this picture tomorrow, you guys will get to see the final finished thing. It's still what I'm gonna, oh, I might have to go a shade darker with the brown. It's not as dark as I was thinking it would be. Which one is this? I don't know if I can get the lid on. This is ginger. Oh, that's why. Ginger's not the one I usually use. I usually use tawny and coffee, aren't you? Yeah, tawny and coffee get used a lot. I've had to buy some replacements of those ones. Blend that in. Not at the top though, because there's a highlight on the lip, so I'm gonna leave that. Well, it's not really a highlight, it's just not dark. The dark is back over here. That's one thing about round metallic objects is they tend to have these odd shaped shadows and highlights that just curve in interesting ways. There we go. I'm gonna call that good. And then the bronze on the lid. Oh, move my camera up. Sorry, guys. I never did go back and add any shadows to this blue on this lid. I'll have to do that because there is a bit of a shadow right here on it. I got so distracted by the pot's body, I think, that I totally spaced the lid part. Where's that blue? Which blue did we use? Oh, I don't even remember now. I should have looked at which one it was. I think it was Syrian blue. Yeah. Go back to that another shadow in a sec. I'm gonna do the lid of the handle of the teacup. Now we're done with the blue. But I'll leave it out just in case I have to eat those words. Alright. Outside of the cup now. let's finish the rim here. To go a step darker and finally use the coffee right here for the inside of the, right there, and then blend it there. Put the lid back on coffee. So far we've mostly just been using tawny and orange rust. Kind of nice though it not being metallic. The orange, brown, orange and blue, you know, complementary colors and all that kind of make each other really stand out. Just gonna have to choose like a pink, dark rose pink color that isn't too bright and preppy and cheerful for the inside of the cup, because the inside of the cup is red clay. I don't want it to be bright because fired clay is not at all. Well, I don't know, maybe sometimes a bright pink clay. It's a bit more bright, but not generally. I'm hoping this year, now that I'll have my own room, I'll actually be able to get a kiln. I had a kiln once upon a time, old kiln. I didn't know how to work it. Like I said, school's from the 40s. My supervisor always said she'd come out and show me how to work it so the kids could do clay projects. But she never came, and then one time we came back from, I think it was Thanksgiving break, maybe fall break, something. Kiln was gone, poof. It was in the way of the construction workers, and they just decided to move it. I don't know where they put it. Nobody really knows where they put it. So for the last 2 years, no kiln. Not that I knew how to work it anyway, but still kind of bummed that I lost my kiln. So the kids have been stuck using air dry clay, which, you know, stuck with something. At least they have something. But air dry clay just, I mean, it's nice because I can just set it on the shelf in the windowsill, my portable, and yeah, by the time they came back the next week, it was dry. We could just move on to the next step and get the clay project out of the way, but it's really nice to actually have actual clay, you know, for the kids, especially the older kids. Well, second grade, they do a pottery project. They make a little teacup. And then I have my 5th graders do a coil pot. I always ask every year, last year's, can we eat out of this? I always tell them no. Decoration pot. Be nice if we could actually tell them, well, if we glaze it. How many elementary schools glaze in my district? We all do clay projects, just paint it and let them take it. They don't really glaze it. But it'd be nice if we could do actual glaze, and then I could tell them, yeah, totally, go home and put some cereal in that, or something like that. See, there's a shadow in between the two driving me crazy. All right, now we just gotta choose real quick for the inside. Let's flip to the back of this paper, actually. I've already tested its 2 colors here. Let's try tomato red. Doesn't really sound like it'd be right, but if I can actually get the lid off. I just did what my kids always told my kids not to. I put it in my mouth. Oh, that's actually really close. That's actually exactly what I wanted. Lucky try. I got it first try. Alright, I'll do this and then we'll call this video done. And then I will do the background and the back like wall and table. I'm not going to actually draw my silver laptop color or draw this ridiculous table. Well, I love pineapples. My tablecloth, I'm not going to do that for the... That'd be too busy. It would distract from my focus here. So I'm just going to have to... Let's see, I need actually something dark. But I don't know if I want to use the... No, let's go down a level of gray. Let's go to this one. I like this one. Elephant gray. Use it for when I do my cat a lot. Which, she's actually hanging out with us. Hi, baby. She's 18. She's old woman. She's actually, can't tell too much right now. She's probably grateful for it. I actually shaved her a few weeks ago before she went to the vet. She can't bend to groom herself anymore. So, every couple months I shave her. In the winter I have a cute little pink sweater I put on her. I tried putting other sweaters on her because this one's kind of running ragged, but she won't have it. She only wears her pink one. She kind of eats and destroys the other ones. And yeah, she just gave me a look. But she's most often, until I get people actually requesting things that they want me to draw, I generally tend to do her and the friends I have in town here who like me to do ones for them. But if I get some supporters, then I can have a variety of objects and cuts to do. Instead of just doing my cat. I mean, I love my cat, but at the same time, you can only do your cat so many times before it's like, I need a new model. All right, so there we go. There's the trio there. And then I'm going to do, for the background, maybe I'll do a deep purple for the table, and then maybe something like a yellow for the background or something, or a black. I don't know. I'll decide. Maybe I'll do that elephant gray or that dark gray for the background, and do a deep purple for the floor. I think that'd be nice. So, until next weekend, have a good week.